Okay, so we just finished a Socratic seminar over soil systems and the nitrogen cycle and how that affects the environment and how that affects soil stability. And I thought it went really well because we had a lot of perspectives on environmental issues. There were a lot of people who wanted more activism in society over environmental issues, especially from the government. I personally have more of a political stance on these issues because I like to implement the considerations of economic stability and the ability of the government to actually impact these changes. Well, so we have two questions I'm going to answer today. How does terrestrial food production systems impact soil systems? Well, we had a huge discussion about the farmer's role in environmental societies because they are the ones who are using the land that was given by the earth to grow produce. Now, if the farmers they don't take care of the land well, they don't replenish nutrients into the soil, then the soil becomes depleted, and they'll no longer be they no longer have the ability to grow more um, biodiversity and more foliage. Now, the fertilizers that farmers use in terrestrial food production systems are also detrimental because too much fertilizer puts too much nitrogen into the soils, and that could be runoff into other big ecosystems, or it just isn't healthy for the plants that are growing in the soil there. Now, the second question is, what is the relationship between soil systems, terrestrial food production, and ecosystem stability? Well, we just said we just correlated between terrestrial food systems and soil systems. Now, ecosystem stability is uh, talks about the entire biosphere as a whole. Now, remember that these poor nutrients or like the depleted the toxic fertilizers and pollution, it can run off to other ecosystems like water, like into the rivers that go into oceans, and then that can evaporate back into the atmosphere. And the nitrogen in the soil itself can also be decomposed in animals when the animals eat the plants. And then when the animals decompose, those nitrogen also gets released back into the atmosphere and other toxic wastes such as carbon dioxide or a lot of carbon emissions from animal waste. Now, all these systems are correlated as they need each other to balance out the stability of each other. And it is very important to not only focus on one part of the ecosystem, but but understand the relation between all these biomes.